Oh man, been a while since we've been on, man.
Yeah, it has a lot of stuff going on,
Well, for those
lot
who
of
are
life.
joining us, see, Chuck was sick, and then I got sick, and then we were gonna have Mike join us again for the wrestling thing here. Now Mike's sick, and we ran out of time. Here it is Wednesday before the Rumble, and we want to get it in, so it's just gonna be me and Chuck. We decided to go remote here. Didn't want to get sick again. I mean, just getting. I mean, my God.
Yeah, it's getting
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
It's getting bad here.
But anyway, we're gonna run through get it up. It's been since what, September or so since we've been on here. It's holidays and whatnot. So we're gonna run through some get wrestling caught up. It's been kind of wishy-washy, kind of good, kind of bad, kind of everywhere. So we're gonna get caught up there, then do a quick Royal Rumble preview and come on back in. We'll do that here real quick. So come on back. And welcome back to the Midnight Riders podcast. We are back. I'm Johnny,
I'm shook.
and we're gonna go remote here. We just couldn't get hooked. We just couldn't get hooked up. I mean, but we're gonna do it this way because we got to get this thing going again. Get back on track here. Try to start getting some more casts thrown back out there now that the holidays are done. And we were gonna start a couple weeks ago, but man, everybody got sick.
Can't do it.
I know.
Just can't do it. Hell, I think I've aged. God, I look horrible. I look like I've aged more since we go on here last. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, when you get totally gray, it don't
been
matter
a while.
anymore, because
It's been a while.
I just let this shit keep growing and keep growing
Yeah.
and keep growing and. Oh man. So I tell you what, let's man, we talk a little bit here and there during the while this is all going on, but man, this this whole wrestling thing's getting kind of weird. I mean, the past couple months, I mean, nobody's really done anything.
There's nothing going. Yeah.
Storylines just
It
got
hasn't.
kind of stagnant.
They stopped. They
They
stopped about. Well, they stopped close about the time we stopped casting.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
started slowing down, and it just
well, I got a few topics here we can run across, and I mean, we chit chat about them here and there, but we've kind of stayed away from talking about much of it, so we could
right.
do this whenever we did it. So, where's your thoughts? Let's go to the Bloodline storyline. It finally played out. Um, I thought Solo carried it pretty well. I don't think he did as good a job as Reigns and Heyman, of
Oh
course.
no,
No, nobody could,
no.
but I think
Not,
he I think he carried it as well as he could. What do you think?
yeah, well, I think they gave him. I think that was kind of a not so much of a test, but a different direction for it
Yeah,
to go
I know what you're
because
saying.
even on the NXT side, Solo never did a whole lot of talking,
Mm-mm.
um, and he got better. He got better,
Yeah,
and and when you bring the other guys in, when you bring in Tonga and Loa and some of the others, well, you know they don't they just don't cut promos.
well, it doesn't click. You had
And
Sokoa who
so
doesn't talk. Then you bring in the Loa boys or the Tonga boys, and neither one of them talk much. And then you
no,
bring in Fatu who just screams a lot. So they needed the mouthpiece, and they never
right,
gave them. They teased a little bit about a wise man, but they never did it.
right.
Um, so I
And
was
now as
kind of
you
confused about that.
yeah, but now as you're getting to go a little bit now that the whole, all the God, I mean, we never even covered all the damn injuries that happened,
I mean,
and
over and over and over and
and
over.
and, and the last one of what's Solo going to do now that they've given Fatu the microphone, not bad. He can
No,
he can
no.
he's believable.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Um,
he carries off the crazy person thing really well because he's actually nuts. I mean, the guy's nuts in real
so
life,
yeah,
and they
it's not a huge act.
now what I didn't like about the whole bloodline story, the way it played. I mean, Roman took some time off. Obviously, they had to go start running roughshod through people, and they did that well. But when Roman came back, it was really odd to me, and I don't know how you feel about it 100% here, but every time. they would put Roman against Sikoa, it was kind of the same thing every
Yeah,
single time. And
each match.
why they kept doing that rather than why he kept giving them matches rather than the build like
Right.
they did the previous thing that really, really worked. It was just kind of it
Yeah.
felt it felt uh, it just felt wrong. It just didn't.
Yeah, it was rushed, and I mean, we talked a little bit about why they would have the big match with those two on Saturday night's main event instead of
Yeah.
leaving it for Rumble or whatever, because that kind of
Right.
happened, and then nothing,
I know.
nothing. What what are
Yeah.
we doing?
Well, I think it was the deal that they wanted to make something big for the first comeback of Saturday night's main event,
Sure.
which we had three of those now, two, three of those now, and this just
It,
looks like a house show to me. I mean,
yeah,
there's
and
nothing
those of us who
special.
remember, yeah, well, those of us who remember the original,
Yeah,
it was the same way. They
yeah.
would build up and they would have title matches or grudge matches that
hmm
you pretty much knew how they were going to end.
You, you're not
They're
going
not
to
going
change.
to
You're not
toss
giving.
titles.
No, yeah, not dropping titles. You're not doing anything. You're supposed to be continuing stories
Right.
or giving you another chapter of the story, but it brings me to my next topic of every time you turn around when they run out of something to do, Jey Uso jumps in there
Yeah, you
or
got or Sami
or
Zayn.
Sami Zayn, and
Yeah,
it's
that's the
just
filler.
and I mean and putting that in a big bundle so we don't waste a lot of time here on the state of wrestling.
Right.
I mean, you got Gunther doing nothing, who's holding the world title. You
Nothing.
got Cody who's doing little and nothing, who's holding the WWE title. You've got Uso kind of chasing Gunther, but kind of not really. And
Mm-hmm.
then kind of playing with the bloodline, but kind of not really. But then coming out and carrying the crowd, but then having another match with Drew McIntyre just because. And
Right.
then Sami Zayn coming in and saving everyone and then screwing things up and hitting the wrong guy every week. Uh, and then Gunther, who doesn't have anybody chasing him, but he has everybody kind of chasing him. And it just seems kind of weird right now. This is usually when they kind of start driving for that WrestleMania. By this time last year and the year before and the year before and the year before, you've already got some grudge shit going.
Yeah, and you already kind of knew a direction. You don't know it now.
Yeah, then when you hit the Royal Rumble, you've got the peak of that before WrestleMania. Now we look at the Royal Rumble tomorrow, I mean, coming up this weekend, and I mean, you got nothing.
No, no, and I think they're teasing the Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's he's gonna turn.
Well,
I
so,
mean,
but
they're
is he going to
teasing that.
turn? Is he not going to turn? Is he going to team up with Kevin Owens
That's what
again?
I
Or is he going to help Kevin Owens cheat and let Cody?
beat Cody. That they got it. And you know who would have thought a year ago we'd have said, okay, that's great. They give him the title, but now they got to get it off of him. It's not working.
It's not working.
It's not. There's
Well,
no
well,
Owens. Owens was a good. I questioned it putting Owens in there. I thought it
mhm.
was just a rush thing, but Owens is so damn good. He makes it all believable.
Well, but what
But
else? I mean, they haven't really worked to put anybody else in there. They
no,
haven't worked to
so I mean,
create a story. And
there's
I don't
nobody
know
else that's
I don't know if
lined
they
up.
did they do it on purpose? Have they done it on purpose to
Well,
it's
you got that one little group. You got Rollins, you got Punk, you got McIntyre,
yes,
and then like you said, you've got
you got Uso, you
Cody, and
got
you got
Zayn,
Uso, and you
but
got Gunther, and you
yeah,
got, but
and
it's the same three or four.
then this whole Netflix thing just kind of screwed everything up because you had the Raw crew who was really getting there, just trying to generate just a little
Right.
bit. You got the SmackDown stories they were going here, and all of a sudden they want to make sure that the rosters are right. So
That they're
Netflix
lined
has
out.
the better guys, and all of a sudden last week Priest shows up on SmackDown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
All of a sudden they're
well,
flipping stuff
well,
around.
yeah, well, a week before he's still in the middle of a fight with Balor for some reason.
Yeah. And Balor was nowhere to be found.
And then Balor you can't find. Then he shows up on Raw last night.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 nights. It's just all over the place
Yeah.
right now, and I don't.
You know, and they're mid belt holders. You know, Nakamura won the title, and
Why?
he makes his little vignettes and his little things here and there.
Why? Why does he get?
I gotta think they're gonna let Breaker go after Gunther. I would think
Well, but then
that
you're
would be
going title
ideal.
versus title,
But
which again, they always end up title versus title, and it blows up the whole title chase thing with the other
yeah,
titles.
and that's just it. They have nobody going after anybody right now. Because I'm thinking
no,
you free up Breaker to go after Gunther, which I think would be a good
sure.
story. But who do you have go after Breaker and get that title off of him? Because there's nobody lined up for that.
No, they haven't. That they brought Breaker in to be be the new Goldberg, if you will. Then he
Right,
comes in and he starts running over all these little mid carders, all the little weak sisters,
right,
and then they put Sheamus in there as opponent who's supposedly going to be tough enough to take this guy on because he's Sheamus.
yeah,
But when he does that, he drops he gets beat by Breaker to get him back up there. But in the middle of all that, they let Sami Zayn beat him. Why I don't know.
hmm
And then and then he gets the title back, and then we don't see him for 2 or 3 weeks. And then he comes back and he beats Sheamus, and then he has the stare down Monday night. It's just
yeah.
I can't put my
I,
thumb on what's going on here.
I really think I really think there's just because of the buildup because they don't put their marketing train behind everybody when they come over, and they put this beast behind Penta. I really got to think they're going to give him a mid card title. He's going to get one of the two titles, I
Well,
think.
I think you got to give him Nakamura's title.
Yeah, he's going to get one of the. He's going to get the U.S. or the Intercontinental. They're making too big of a push,
Well, but here's the problem with that. He's on
but
Netflix. They want him on Netflix,
sure,
but Nakamura's on SmackDown.
right. That's what
So
I'm thinking.
I don't know if they want him on Netflix because he's a draw supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
He's people that are going to watch from Mexico on Netflix and all this.
Right,
So they're going to
right.
keep him on Netflix, but you can't give him Breaker's title.
Why not?
Well, because they're trying to make I see them trying to make Breaker this middle of the road good guy bad guy good guy bad guy good guy bad guy, and then you bring Penta in who's supposed to be this great great face wrestler,
Right.
and but people love Breaker. I don't know. I just maybe the Rumble's going to do it. I mean, and we'll get into that here in a second. But
I'll
some
tell you
other
what. In order for the Rumble to do what would need to do,
oh
there's
yeah.
going to have to be which is why they're putting all the
Well, yeah,
information going to be so big.
I got some things to throw at you here in a minute.
But
So
holy hell, yeah.
just hold your bacon right now. Let me throw a couple other things to you about other things. Um, the Judgment Day. Are we done?
Well, yeah, McDonough's dead.
Well, McDonough
Um,
after Monday night,
I
God bless
mean,
you, JD. You're a
he's
beast, man.
he's
Um, but after that, I mean, now
Ballard.
is Ballard?
Ballard's
I mean,
Ballard's vanished. Dom came out and helped Liv and Raquel again, but
yeah, but that's just keeping Dom something to do. I mean, with
it's
McDonough
like
gone and Carlito's just kind of there, and now Balor, I assume they're going to let Balor start going after a singles title. I don't know because now
that,
Priest is
that was gonna
gone.
be my next. That was gonna be my next thing. Is he gonna go after the U.S. or the? I mean, he's not a mid card guy though. I mean, not historically,
Well, he's not supposed to be.
but
But
yeah,
I
I mean,
bring up the Judgment Day because I'm looking at New Day. I'm looking at at the Final Testament. I'm looking at Phantasma. I'm looking at the LWO. I'm looking at the Wyatt Six. I'm looking at all these so-called factions
right.
and Street Profits and Creed Brothers and all these supposed tag teams. But all we ever get to see is DIY against the Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we see.
Yeah.
They'll throw the Profits in there to get beat every now and then, but then it always goes back to DIY and the Motor City Machine. They keep talking about how they've got all these great tag teams, but they're not doing anything with any of
No,
them. And
no,
then
they
for some unknown reason, out of the blue, they let the fucking Raiders win the titles.
yeah,
Of all the other talent they have here, and
and
all
they're
the
not.
other people that can sell, they let the Raiders of all teams win the titles. That just, in my opinion, brings the titles that were up here down to mid card status.
Well, but nobody. Yeah, they do on those because nobody knows anything and nobody follows that one because they brought in the machine guns to do what
Hmm.
they did.
Hmm.
That's what they did, and now
Right.
that's one of the only two matches on the Rumble because
Yeah.
people like DIY, and I like DIY. They're fun to watch, but a 2 out of 3 match, which is fine, great. What do you do after that? I mean,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
there's tag teams stacking up, starting to stack up, but they're not.
but they're
They
not
got
giving they're not
no, yeah,
focusing on the tag division, and
no,
they're going to have to if they're going to want to do this. I mean, they made I think where some of the and I just thought of this today while I was working on this deal. I think maybe some of this so-called build-up for the women's mid-range cards, the IC and the US title for the women, I think they just took away from creative's whole brain to do something with the other stuff. I mean, it's like they put it on coast until they moved over to Netflix.
yeah,
They gave everybody a couple of weeks off around Christmas. They made a big deal about it in the media, which is fine. They
right.
all need a break. But it's like everybody went on hiatus and nobody thought about anything for about a month, and now here we are. Uh, but that
That's the thing. Look, there's a lot of backstage stuff with the tag teams, which I thought was interesting.
yeah.
There's a lot of confrontations, and there's a lot of stare downs, and there's
Well,
a lot.
they're even letting Pretty Deadly get involved in it, which is
Right. That's what I'm
fun.
saying.
They're
There's a
fun,
lot of there's a lot of backstage shit
right?
going on with
Right.
them,
Well, I
and
thought I
they're
thought they were the tag team belts were even more interesting when they had Waller and Theory hold them. I thought that was great stuff.
yeah,
I'm a big Austin Theory fan, and so I just thought that was pretty good stuff with letting them
yeah.
have the belts. They played it well. They did the good, whatever. But anyway, I mean, that's the state of where things are right now is just kind of bizarre for me.
Yeah, and
And
it's going to get a little stranger, and I'm sure we'll get into this when we talk about the Rumble. But now that you got to deal with TNA,
yeah,
which
that was my next little caveat
yeah,
there. You know, putting that out there. Okay, let's just put that right there on the side as we talk about this. Let's go into the Rumble. They've been announcing everybody that's going to be in the Rumble, and I mean, it's a who's who of who they have on the roster right now. I mean,
I mean,
everybody
what
that you
was
can.
the last one I saw? There was only 15 men that I know of that are officially in.
Oh no, 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 no. Punk's in it. Punk's in it. Gable's in it. McIntyre, Uso,
Right?
Kofi Kingston,
Is he
Logan
officially in
Paul.
now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Logan Paul, Finn Balor, Waller and
Right.
Theory both said they were in it. I don't know if Xavier Woods is going to be in. I know Ray's in it because he's on the poster.
Oh yeah.
That's 10. You got Rollins and Zayn who both said they're in. Priest is in. Jimmy and Jay are both in.
Yeah, I didn't
LA
see Jimmy.
LA Knight's in. Roman
Right.
Reigns is in. Nakamura's in. Cena's in. I mean, there's probably 20 guys already named.
Punk, Breaker, Penta.
Penta, he's probably going to be in it.
See, you
But
got.
see, then you
I
got
haven't.
Sikoa and Tom and
As
Jacob
I say,
Fatu and Tom Matonga and
haven't heard about them yet. And you got Miz, but there again, I'm saying you got the TNA. Ziggler's over at TNA.
yeah,
I really think he'll show up.
I think he needs to.
Cardona,
Will they call him Nick Nemeth? Will they call him
right?
Dolph Ziggler? Whatever they call him, I think
But
he has to be one of the names that pops in. But
yeah,
then I take a little deep breath and I say, is Orton coming back?
very possible.
Is
That was my
AJ
next thing.
Styles coming back?
That was my next thing. You got Orton. You got. I was thinking Orton, Styles. There's always that off wide chance of Lesnar. There's
Yeah,
always
I
the
think
chance
he's
of the
done. But
loser of the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens match making a
sure,
surprise entrance.
sure. A surprise, Cody makes a
Um,
surprise entrance after, Sammy costs him the title and he wants to win it to win three in a
right.
row, which he won't. That's played. It's,
You got
but
you
there's,
got Matt Cardona. You got Joe Hendry, which people
yes.
love.
See, Cardona's one I think that they will
Right.
because of Chelsea, obviously.
Right.
But I mean, I think he's a shot. Nemeth's got a shot. Hendry's got a shot because Hendry's talking shit about Cena right now.
Right.
So, and that
And you haven't even gotten to the NXT guys. You haven't gotten to the
no,
Oklahoma guys. You haven't
no,
gotten to those guys that hold the titles over there. Plus the fact that TNA now has the Hardys. You
yes,
think they won't throw Jeff Hardy in that damn thing for a pop?
yes.
I mean,
I mean,
come on.
they've got so much in, they got so many irons in the fire right now. It's going to take a really good bit of planning to not make this Royal Rumble pay-per-view a clusterfuck because
Yeah.
everything's right on the edge of falling apart, but right on the edge of starting. I mean, if they play the Rumble right, you can start 10 feuds right here in the Rumble to get ready for Mania. And I think that's what they may be trying to do here.
I think that's what they're trying to do because there's only two. Like you said, there's only two matches,
Yeah.
so they're banking everything, and one of them is the damn tag team thing.
Well,
So
you
they're
got okay,
banking
yeah,
everything on these
you got the
rumbles.
2 out of 3 tag team between DIY and the Machine Guns. So let's assume that takes 5 minutes to get to the ring. Probably gonna a 2 out of 3. There'll be a quick fall, and then there'll be a long fall, and then there'll be just a bam, it's over fall. So you're looking probably 40 minutes, 45 minutes for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got
Yeah,
then after that you got Cody and Kevin, which is a ladder
because
match, which is about 30 minutes maybe.
which is show. I'm assuming that's going to start the show is
It
Rose and Owens.
should. It
Yeah,
should. It should start the show, and then you go to the 2 out of 3 match to get everybody ready for the Rumble, and then you do
right.
the women, or they may start it with the Women's Rumble again, like they did last 2 years.
True.
You started with the Women's Rumble,
Very
that's
true.
an hour out right there. Then you got an hour for the men. So there's 2 hours gone there. Then you've got the 2 out of 3, and you've got Cody and Kevin. But so there's your 3 hour pay-per-view. That's 3 hours and you're done.
Right. They'll
But
drag it out. They
but
have to because
there just has to be there's got to be some story build in the Rumble match
yeah.
itself.
I
With
think
all the big names in it, I just can't see how you don't.
and this will be one of those years that they're not. I don't think they're going to bank on quote surprise entrances and all the new guys
Mm-mm,
coming in and all
mm-mm.
that. I think they're banking on
No.
stories and they're banking on even if Fatu and Solo aren't even in the damn Rumble, they're going to play a part. Tonga's going
Well,
to play a part
they'll come out there
because
and try to
Reigns is
get Reigns in some trouble.
is
If
this going to be the
Kevin
time Zayn turns? Is this going to
if
be a
they yeah if they do let Kevin win the title, say Sammy cheats and Kevin wins, you might have Cody run out during the Rumble, not as an entrant, just coming there to whip Sammy's ass and get whatever. There's a lot of stuff that can happen during this,
right?
and I'm pretty sure there will be. Um, we'll get to predictions here in a minute. Let's pause right there and let's move over to the Women's Rumble. Um, are we going to see Becky? Are we going to see
Oh yeah,
Charlotte?
I think you're seeing Becky. I think you're seeing Charlotte. I think there's a chance you get Jade Cargill.
Yeah,
I think there's a chance you get Asuka.
yeah.
Um, I mean, Alexa Bliss is probably coming back.
Well,
I think
well, there I read a story that said they're holding off on her because she's got it. She wanted to renegotiate her contract.
okay.
Said she was supposed to come back, and she's decided she wants to renegotiate before they bring her back. And they said, well, let's just hold off then.
I think one of
Now,
their big things is going to be you bring in Cargill, you can do that, get that storyline going. You can do something with her if she's healthy enough.
well, the thing is number one, is she really hurt? Nobody knows. Number
Right.
two,
I think you got a shot at AJ Lee coming back. Um, I think they're going to bank. I think they're going to bank
ah,
more on. There's all kinds of stories of Michelle McCool and Layla both being in it.
say again, why?
There's yeah, there's
Why?
they're banking a lot more on that. But then you got Jordan Grace, of course.
Well, I mean, I've got 35 names right here in front of me of women, that are, because you've already got Bailey and
Right.
Piper and uh,
Chelsea.
I'm sure Nikki Cross will be in it, Naomi and Nia Jax and Meechin and Cargill and Lopez and LeRae and Davenport and B-Fab and Belair, and I mean you've got probably 20 names right off the top. Then
Oh yeah.
they always bring in NXT girls for this thing,
Oh yeah,
you
and they
know.
will.
And
Roxanne Perez.
I even mentioned Natty. Natty will probably be there.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, but I
Poor
mean,
thing. Yeah, you'll have three. I think you'll have 3 or 4 NXT. You'll have 3 or 4. You'll have 3 or 4 TNA.
yeah.
You
Let
know.
me let me take we're gonna pause real quick. We'll be right back. Okay, dog's kind of going crazy here. Had to take a second to calm them down. But I mean, the women's rumble, if you look at that, I mean, does Valkyria get in it? Does Stratton get in it? No,
Oh
Ripley
yeah.
and Stratton won't because they're the world title holders, of course. Does Chelsea Green get in it? Do we see Charlotte Flair or Bliss or Lynch or AJ Lee or yeah, who?
Yeah, you're gonna. I think that on this one more than the men, you'll see 5 or 6. I don't know for surprises or new people or returns anyway. Because Charlotte and Becky, I think Charlotte and Becky are given. I think there's no doubt those two are coming back. Or
Yeah.
whoever that is in Charlotte's body anyway. And
Golly, did you see that? I mean, it was a video of
man,
I don't know who that was.
my goodness, yeah.
I don't know who that was.
Wow. At least to know what she's been doing while she's been out.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
so I don't know I don't know what way they're going to go here. I mean, you got Tiffany finally has the world belt, and I think she can carry it. I think she can carry any storyline they give her.
and then
Um,
that's the thing. You made such a big deal with her getting the title, which was great. I'm glad they finally gave it to her. But then she's not even going to be on the what many consider the second biggest pay per view of the year. I mean, she's not
neither
even
is neither is Rhea, unless what they'll probably do some backstage stuff. Let them come out there, maybe
right.
let them sit ringside and see
Or
who they're gonna challenge for there,
right.
or will
But
they
yeah,
come out there and get? Well, she and Rhea come out there and get involved, and
all the titles you have, and all you got is one set of the tag titles and Cody's title, and that's it. You got none of the mid card titles are up.
no, I mean,
None of the
yeah, I mean,
women.
well, you got Gunther who's not wrestling, you got Breaker who's probably going to be in the Rumble, you got Nakamura
Gunther's
who's going to be in the Rumble.
right.
Um, I don't know if any of the tag team guys are going to be in the Rumble. I don't know why they would be. You got plenty of singles wrestlers out there
Yeah,
that
yeah.
can
You're just
fill the card, and so you've got no more tag. There may be a
no,
couple of pre-show matches. You know how they like to do that.
true,
Um,
but
if
yeah,
they do
I
some
mean,
of
you're just
that,
wasting. You throw like you say, you throw the Raiders or any of carrying Cross's group into the Rumble. It's just a waste of space. It's not.
well, I mean, I think Karrion Crosses will be in it. I think he'll be in
Cross
the
will be in
Rumble.
it, yeah, but the
But
rest
as
of them,
far as the AOP, they shouldn't be in it.
no.
They won't be. Then Miz, who knows where he's going to be this week? One
I
week
don't say
he's
Miz.
within, one week he's with Truth, the next
Yeah,
week he's over here. Now they've moved him to SmackDown. Um,
yeah.
I'm sure he'll be in the Rumble, and I'm sure
And,
he'll
and,
be.
and we haven't even talked about the Wyatt Six. Are any of them going to be in the Rumble?
Well, see, that's another interesting thing. They threw that out there saying that they're going to move them to SmackDown.
Right,
They're going to be part of SmackDown because it's the I guess for like it's more of the kiddie version of wrestling since it's on cable.
right.
Um, I think from what I see, they're going to make them an every now and then thing. They're not going to run them every week.
Right.
They're just not. To
They're going to
keep them,
bring them in and go,
I guess just to keep them fresh. I don't know.
yeah, just to have them go after. But who are they? I don't know. I don't know. Again, and unfortunately, it's just like they did with Wyatt.
Yeah. Well,
It
you
was such
build it up. You build
a
it
good
up.
build up and good potential, and then it's just like they don't know what the hell to do with them.
Well,
They
you
don't know
can't
what
do. I
to do with
mean,
the
Wyatt got old.
yeah,
I mean, his story. Of course, they screwed that up. You
yeah,
know, he came out and he was just scaring everybody and beating everybody. Then they throw him in the ring with the Rock at WrestleMania and get squashed. I mean, it was
yeah, and then they
I
bury
don't know what happened
yeah,
that, but I don't know
then they
why that
bury
would
the
happen.
entire family. Yeah,
Yeah, then everybody's buried and then nobody beats anybody anymore and it's all over. And so
yeah,
maybe they learned their lesson with this one and they're just letting them come out every now and then whenever there's a faction that's running roughshod over people
right.
and they come out and chase them around a little bit. I mean the Chad Gable thing was good, I thought.
Yeah, that was
But
a good start. I thought, yeah,
it ended really quickly,
yeah,
oddly.
yeah. It was
Um,
abrupt and it was done.
but you had the Creed brothers and Gable, and you had them chasing them and scaring them, and then bang, 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 he beats them. It's over. Now let's move on.
Yeah,
Okay, all
and who
right,
else? I thought maybe they were going to set that up for them to go after uh, New Day,
yeah,
returning on their family kind of thing.
yeah. But
But
now they've moved them to SmackDown. A New Day's
yeah,
still on Raw.
well, but then again, what do you do with it? There's two of them and there's four of the Wyatt, so you can't
Exactly,
really
and they don't have a big guy.
right. Yeah, exactly. They don't have
You got big guy. You got um
Rowan.
Rowan over there, and I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just used to. Yeah, I'm just so old school with this stuff. I'm used to things just flowing. and storylines being put right in front of my face.
And they
And
were going really well, but it's like like I said, I think the injuries probably tormented a lot of it because the injuries have been bad.
yeah, yeah.
But capping off with, like I said, McDonough just nearly crippling himself.
I don't know how he didn't knock himself out.
I don't. I went. I don't usually go back and watch any of that stuff. I went back and watched it just to watch him for the rest of the match, and he
Yeah, I
did
did
two or
too.
three more bumps in that thing
Yeah,
afterward.
bad ones.
I
So
that man, whew,
yeah, let's
that was impressive. That was
let me
that
take another little quick break here. Be right back.
you got.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, we're to a point here where I think we've talked ourselves out of everything else, and we've just decided everything that's wrong with the world of wrestling, like we always do. So, how about we go to some predictions here? Let's just start with the one that we don't know why they're doing. Let's do the 2 out of 3 with the machine guns. I mean, we've already seen how many on TV between them and DIY,
Yeah.
and here we go again. I mean, I get it. They're good wrestlers. I get it. They work well
Well,
together.
they put on good matches,
They
no
do,
doubt
but
about it.
but we've seen it 3 or 4
But
times now, and now we're going to see it 3 more times with the 2 out of 3 match that you know is going to be a 2 wins versus a 1 win match. They always are.
right.
So, uh, what do you think? What do you see? What do you see?
Oh, I think that I don't think they're going to pull the titles off DIY already. I mean, it's too much of a there's no,
What?
there's too they're good heels. There's too
Yeah,
many teams that can go after them.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I see. I don't know if I mean, I see that with everything that's going on backstage and all the storylines, I see Pretty Deadly getting involved. I see, uh, what are the Phantasmal guys? I see them getting involved. I
see,
see a
I
lot of,
also
I see a lot of things going down in there.
I also see the loser of this getting drafted to the other show
Well, that's possible.
because
That's possible.
those are obviously considered probably the two best actual tag teams they've got
Well, I think Triple
on the
H thinks they
roster.
are. I think Triple
Right,
H
on the
thinks they're
roster.
number 1 or 2, and
Um,
they've already done enough with each other. Let's move on.
right.
So they'll
And
probably,
the Raiders do their thing, but
yeah. I just don't say I agree with you. I think they hold on to the belts. I see a lot
yeah,
of chaos.
yeah,
I see at least Pretty Deadly coming out. I see the other guys coming out. I see a lot of
yeah. I think in the span of it, you see about four more teams getting involved in one way or
possibly. Well, the Prophets will probably come out. They were part of that little hoot nanny, and
right,
so you bring it all out there. I think, and it all said and done, DIY retains, and we just have some chaos because it is the Royal Rumble. Whenever they
right.
like to put a lot of people in the ring, so
Then they'll start to. Then that'll set up. I think there's even a long shot, but I just know how they work sometimes. I think there's even a chance that the Hardys make an appearance and challenge. You got to build up. You got something. You got the Hardys. You're going to use them. I'm sorry, they're going to do something with them. I
oh
think
yeah,
one way
yeah.
or
I
another.
mean, you've got them. You know that they
Yeah.
stretched out and they've got the TNA thing locked up. So
Yep.
you're gonna have TNA guys there, and you got a 2 out of 3 tag
Right.
match.
Like you said, you only got two matches. You got to do something. You can't just have
Well,
a
yeah, I
straight edge,
mean,
straight line 2 out of 3.
right. I mean, you've got the 2 out of 3, and that's going to take a good 35,
Yeah.
40 minutes, 45 minutes to
Right.
get them in there, then do the whatever. So you're going to have run-ins, and like you said, by the time it's all said and done, you're probably going to have 10, 12 guys out there,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
takes care of some of the other guys that can't be in the Rumble. So,
Yeah.
well,
I'm like you.
but we
I
both
think
agree DIY retains when it's all said and done.
I think between the two matches, you like you said, you take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes on those two matches
Yeah. Okay. So
just
then
to
you
make
got
it work.
Cody and you got KO. Now, my opinion on this one, my heart says let Kevin win it. Um,
Yeah. I
but I don't see them doing it because that means Cody held the belt less than a year. And I
yeah.
just, you're 2 months away from Mania. Cody's a better main event draw than KO is. So I
Right.
don't, I don't know how he's going to win. I just can't see KO winning this one. Um, I hope I'm wrong and that KO Sammy comes out to try to cheat or help or whatever, and Sammy gets involved and we don't end up with a triple threat match for the title at WrestleMania.
I was
I
gonna say,
hope we don't go there,
right.
but we might.
Just because there's nobody else lined up and we're this close to Mania,
Yeah.
I think whatever happens, that's going to be the match at Mania. I think it's
Well,
going to be Owens and Rhodes somehow,
well, the thing is if
but I may be
my
wrong.
my issue is that the only person that would be a headliner for Mania with Cody involved would be Roman Reigns winning the Rumble, and I don't think they're going to let Reigns win the Rumble.
No, I've got my prediction on who's winning the Rumble, but
Well,
yeah,
I've got some stuff here. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. We're still a little bit away from getting there, but okay. So we both think Cody's going to retain.
yeah, unfortunately,
Okay. Well, my heart says give it to Kevin, but I just think Kevin was a great main event night one with Austin a couple years ago. Um, Kevin he is a main event guy.
oh, he's great.
I've got a KO shirt and I wear it proudly.
Yeah,
But
he's
I just don't think that they want him main eventing.
Mania again.
I don't know. Well,
He's done it, like you said, he's done it a couple times. He did it with Sammy, and he did it
well,
with Austin.
he's
But
just so damn good,
he is. He can
you
carry
know.
any. Because I had my, again we talked. I didn't know why all of a sudden they flipped him and had him go after Cody out of the middle of nowhere, other than probably injuries.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he's
but the
made it.
story, but
He's
the
made it a
story,
story.
they made the story work.
Yep.
They made the story work because everything that he said during this run is true.
It's the same kind of setup or arc that they're doing with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
They're going back and finding things over the past years
Yeah.
that just happens to roll into this. So it's
Well,
great storytelling on that
he's
part.
Kevin KO's always been a great in the storytelling side. He
Yeah,
makes you believe it and he does it well. I just wish they'd steer clear of the Sami Zayn shit. I'm just so tired
I
of the
know.
KO Sami
There's
Zayn.
something. Yeah, there's something linked in with him and
Yeah.
this company that they just. I like Sammy, but he's a mid card guy,
For me,
and
that's what for me too. So
he's good, but he's just yeah.
let's go to the women's rumble. What do you want to go first? You want me to take it?
Oh man, go ahead because I don't like my thoughts. So
Well, here's what I'm gonna say.
yeah, what do you got?
I'm gonna say that I think the only so-called quote surprises. I mean, Charlotte's not a surprise. She's on the damn poster.
Yeah,
So we'll go. I think Becky comes back.
yeah.
I don't think we see AJ. I don't think we see Alexa Bliss. I think it's only going to be Charlotte and Becky. Um, I don't think they let Becky win it.
No, I don't either.
I think it gets. I don't think Cargill's coming back in the match.
Right.
My heart says, well, I think it's going to be down. Unfortunately, hear me out. I
All
think it's
right.
going to be down to Naomi, um, Belair, Charlotte, and Nia Jax. I think those are the four it's going to be down to. I
I got three of the four. I got another one.
I think Charlotte tosses out Nia. I think I think Belair and or Naomi will toss out Charlotte, and I think Jade comes out at the end and costs either Belair or Naomi the title because one of them is the one that did attack her. That's my
Right.
play. I may be so far off base, I don't know,
Right.
but the way the story is being told to me, I see Naomi or Belair being the one that did it to her.
Sure. Oh
And I
yeah.
think Cargill's going to come out at that time and turn the and show her cards and tell us just what the fuck went on. So That's my story. I'm sticking
Yeah.
to it, and I don't even know if I'm gonna be close. But what do you
So
got?
who do you think's going to win it?
Uh, I think Naomi's the one that attacked her. I think Naomi is the one that Cargill's going to go after, and I think Cargill helps Belair win the title, will win the Royal Rumble. I think Belair wins it. Naomi is exposed. Cargill comes back. Boom. That's
Okay.
my call. What do you got?
All right. I've got Final Four. I've got Charlotte, of course. I got
Yeah.
Belair.
Right.
I've got Naya.
Okay.
I got Io Sky.
See, I wanted to, she's my favorite. She's my
I
favorite.
don't.
She's
But I think I'm a little bit different in the fact that I think Cargill's in the Rumble, and I think she comes in, and I think she goes straight after Naomi and
so.
eliminate. They both get eliminated going over the top rope. That whole deal.
So you think it's
Um,
Naomi too?
I think it's Naomi,
Okay.
and
Well,
Belair gets to the Final Four. But maybe it's a bit of a heart pick. I'm saying Io wins it.
I would like for her to win it. I think she's the best wrestler they got.
Unfortunately, I think Charlotte's going to win
I think, that's the one I didn't want to let win. I mean, I'm
it. Yeah,
afraid my heart is saying don't let her come back and win the damn thing. That's what they did with Becky. Let her come back and win it. I mean,
right.
if Becky comes back, like I think she will,
I think she's a shot for the Final Four, of course, but
right.
Io, and Io did that last little stare down with Bailey last week, and
Yeah.
Io's just so damn good.
She's good at everything.
You,
I mean,
it
when they came here to Oklahoma City in September, I think it was, I took Archer and I got to see her
yeah,
live, and she moves.
and that's my issue with Naomi. The story is good, but
Hmm.
Naomi's not a main event person. Naomi's not a
No, and that's what I don't.
she's
I
not
don't.
one that you're gonna think's gonna win the Rumble. So I
Yeah.
think Cargill's in it, and I think she eliminates her.
Okay. Well, that well, I mean, I agree. I think Naomi's the culprit. That's an obvious. It looks obvious to me, but I may be way off base. But
Right.
okay, do you got anybody special coming in beside? Do you have Lynch showing up?
I got Lynch showing up.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got Cargill showing up. I think Oscar's gonna make in the. I'm holding out that Oscar's gonna be there. Um,
Yeah, she could. I didn't think about Oscar. She may be back.
of course, you got your TNA. Jordan Grace will be there. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you got your teenage. So you
you'll have
think?
your NXT.
Well, I
Roxanne
think
Perez.
Valkyria and Green will both be in it. I
Yeah,
mean, their
Roxanne Perez
names.
will be there. Kaylani
Yeah,
Jordan, one of the title holders over NXT, she'll be there.
yeah,
Uh, I don't know how much of the TNA that you watch, but they've got with Jordan Grace, they got Masa Slamovich, which is a big name over there. I think she's
yeah.
another big one that's going to show up.
Is Mickey
Um,
James still over there?
Nikki James is still over there,
Well,
and she's married to
yeah. I mean, she was there at the last. She was the last TNA that came over.
right.
So I don't know if they'll
Yeah,
bring her or not.
she's married to Nick Aldis anyway. So
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
there's
So
yeah, there's too much word out there that Michelle McCool is going to be in it.
I just why
Yeah, I don't
she'll
know
in there.
why.
She'll be in there for 5 minutes, and she'll. I
Right.
mean, they need to quit bringing these veterans, these whatever they call them, legends. They need to
Legends.
stop. They need
Yeah,
to stop.
it
It
doesn't.
just,
It's meaningless.
it's
I mean,
time. I mean, I sit here and just wrote down just off the top of my head. I wrote down 25, 30 ladies
yeah,
just off the top of my head, not counting TNA,
yeah.
and
So
just
you
only
didn't count
putting in three
TNA in. Yeah.
NXTs in there. So
But
they
I
got
tell you
plenty.
what, if you got time, I know you don't watch it a ton, but if you got time, there's some women over at NXT that are really good.
Yeah.
And TNA's got a few that I haven't seen a whole lot of TNA. I'm trying to watch a little bit more of it when I can, but
Right.
they've got a few that are really good. But you don't need to bring in the legends that
No.
just take up spots. Is
No,
all they're
that's the thing. You don't need to bring anything in. You don't. I mean, all right. So okay. So I got Belair, and you've got EO, and I'd like to see EO win it. I just think that this whole Belair Naomi
yeah,
Cargill thing is just played. I think they played it up for the big crescendo here to start
right,
a run to WrestleMania. That's my game.
right.
That's my game with that. So all
Yeah,
right,
I think the same thing.
let's move over to the boys. This one's got all kinds of weird things going on in my head. It's gonna have, I'm a Royal Rumble aficionado historian. I love this. I've loved this pay-per-view from the day it started. I've got a book. I keep a book of rosters on it. I built a game over it, and this is every year at the Royal Rumble. You've got 15 guys in there that you know there's no way in the world they're going to win. No way.
Right.
This is one of those years where there's probably 20 guys on this list that has a storyline to win.
You can see that they have a shot to win. Yeah.
You have a shot of a storyline with about 20 of these guys to win it and go on for the main
Yeah.
event for a title because of the mundane stuff we talked about earlier, all of the storylines that aren't going anywhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
It took me.
when, well, yeah,
It
when you put it into the Royal Rumble mix that they've created here, I mean,
yeah.
shit, any of them could, there's 20 of them that could win this thing, and he wouldn't
Sure.
say, well, that's a stupid thing to do because the
Yep.
storylines that have been weak are the actual storylines that they could create here for the road to WrestleMania. So it's kind of a mixed bag for me here.
Right. And it took me a while, but and unfortunately, I came down to my final four, and I mean, it makes sense,
Who do you
but it's
got? Give me
the
your
normal
four.
guy. You know,
What do you
I've
got?
got Rollins. I got the final four of Rollins, Reigns, Punk, and Cena.
Rollins, Reigns, you marking me, Punk, and Cena. See, I don't. I
What do you
don't.
got?
I don't. I mean, I got Rollins and Punk.
Right.
Um, I got Cena going out, maybe five or six guys left, simply because,
I
uh,
hope so.
well,
I hope
because of
so.
the guy that's been talking shit about him in TNA.
Right.
I always forget his name,
Joe Hendry. Yeah.
Hendry. I think Hendry's going to be in it, and I think Hendry is going to go specifically after him. And I think Hendry and Cena may end up throwing each other out or whatever and starting a feud for
I
WrestleMania.
hope you're right. I don't want Cena in the final four, but I
I,
just
he may be. If he comes out number
yeah,
30 or 28, he may be in the final four.
yeah,
Okay. If he comes out any earlier, maybe in the early 20s, I think and Hendry is in it, I'm hoping Hendry's in it. I hope they start their feud right there.
yeah,
That's kind of where I'm going with that.
yeah.
But I got Rollins in the finals. I got Punk in the finals. I wanted to go with Reigns and I wanted to go with Logan Paul
Ooh,
because they're trying to, he's back and they're trying to build it up. And they had the good promo the other night. Um, so I'm going to go with Rollins. I'm going to go with Punk. I'm going to go, unfortunately, I'm going to go with Jey Uso, and I'm going to go with either Reigns or Logan Paul. I just for some reason they're just in love with Jey Uso. Every
right.
time you turn around, Jey Uso's getting this. Every time he's doing that, he's
Yeah,
wrestling for this title. He's wrestling for this title. Again, why they would do this? They're gonna get him close. He's gonna get close. And he's not gonna
right.
win again because that's what they like to do with Jey Uso.
Exactly.
I hope I'm wrong, but
I do too.
I hope I'm wrong because I'm about Jey Uso'd out.
Yeah,
But Punk and Rollins are the obvious two. It may be Reigns and Logan Paul.
right.
Reigns may get there, but I've got something in the back of my head that says that either Tonga Loa or Jacob Fatu or Solo Sikoa or any of the mix of them are going to
Do
come in and
something.
focus on Reigns. Maybe the Loa and
Tongue.
Fatu
Oh,
aren't in the Rumble. They just come out and they just
right.
kick Roman Reigns out. So Sikoa, I don't know. I just think that there's something in that mix that they still may want to play with.
Right.
Um, so I don't know. It's just kind of because I wouldn't say that, but the other night, whenever Sikoa had the mic and he didn't say anything,
Yeah.
and he walked away, that kind of tells me that there's still some unfinished business.
Yeah.
I don't
True.
know. I don't know. I just feel a little weird.
I don't
I
know. So who do you got winning this thing?
I think they're going to let CM Punk win it. I think Punk's going to win it. I think Punk's going to win. I think he's going to get Cody at WrestleMania, and I think he's going to beat Cody. And then maybe Roman's sitting there waiting for him. I don't know. We obviously see Roman and Punk hooking up somewhere down the road with Paul Heyman being in the middle.
Right.
It's a storyline waiting to happen. Um, I've got two or three different scenarios. I mean, I can see Punk winning it. I can see Rollins winning it. Why I don't think
Yeah.
Rollins should win it.
That's who
It's
I've got winning it is Rollins.
is
I
Rollins.
think.
Don't you, I just think it's too obvious. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I may
But
be completely off base though.
but here's my thing. I think Rollins wins it, but I think they set up a that sets up a God, I hate to say it, a triple threat in at WrestleMania.
With
I hope
who?
I'm wrong, but with him and Punk and Cody.
Yeah. See. Here's my problem. We sit here and talked about three or four different scenarios, and neither one of us mentioned Gunther.
Right. Or Drew McIntyre
Well, I mean Gunther as the champion.
as the champion. Yeah,
Why
no.
wouldn't why wouldn't somebody cash in on Gunther?
Yeah.
Here we are.
Who's in that? Yeah, but who's in that mix that would cash in on Gunther? That's the thing. They've built nothing up
I know. There's
over there.
nothing built for him. Well, I
But
mean,
see,
the other
the,
Jey Uso, I mean, but
the thing was at the end of the Heyman's Heyman's promo, which was awesome again.
always.
Um, McIntyre came out and did his whole speech, and then threw out there at the end that he wasn't talking about Reigns, he was talking about Punk.
Yeah.
So makes
I,
me think that Rollins. I mean, they've already, but that's the thing though. They've already done Punk and Rollins. They've already done Punk and McIntyre.
yes. They've done it many times.
So, but that just
Which
makes me
tells me if Punk wins, Rollins is going to be over here and Punk's going to go after Cody. However, it's that's what I'm
McIntyre just
saying.
called, yeah, McIntyre just called out Punk.
Exactly.
Do you act like that didn't happen?
Exactly.
So
Because and that's why I thought tonight's conversation that we were going to have here was going to sound like we're on drugs because
yeah,
the first half we're sitting there saying that they haven't done any storylines. They build absolutely nothing up. We can't tell if anything's going to be doing anything. And now because here we are now about the Rumble match, that all of this so-called nothing could be one great big something.
yeah, it could be
So maybe
huge.
it was great storytelling that we just said it wasn't because we didn't understand it.
Well,
I don't
I tell you
know.
what, if they come out of this thing with 4 or 5 legitimate good stories, then I'll applaud Triple H even more. But
So
damn it,
this is
because
this
you notice with the big comeback and everything that's happened, none of us think that Reigns is going to win it.
I just don't think he will.
I don't either.
I don't see him
I don't either.
I don't see him.
And you're still lingering out there with the favor that Heyman owes Punk.
And see, that's the favor. That's why I think that down the road we're going to get Punk and Reigns. Obviously, I think
Right.
Punk and Reigns may be a SummerSlam situation, but
Yeah.
how's it going to get there? How are they going to,
Right.
and at this point, what happens with Solo Sikoa? What happens with
Yeah.
Jimmy Uso? What happens with Sami Zayn? What happens with Jey Uso? Jey Uso's going to stay over here and lose
What happens?
and lose to everybody in singles competition, but he doesn't
Yeah.
want to be a tag guy.
But what happens with Fatu? Is he going to just keep beating up Braun Strowman? I mean, they're going. Is that really the way they're going to go? This whole bloodline thing, and then they put him in a feud with Strowman,
I don't know. Again,
and,
that
and and then you leave Tama Tonga sitting there.
well, but with Loa getting hurt,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
you still got the and you still
when's he
got
due
the two
back?
and you still got the two sitting in the wings still, just
Well,
sitting.
but they're not even wrestling yet. They're not even in it.
No, they're not doing it. That's what I'm saying.
NXT. Have they
That's what I'm
signed
saying.
them?
One of them is signed. Zilla, I haven't heard that he's signed. I know the Hikuleo guy, the actual brother of him. He's signed. He's been signed for almost a freaking year.
Well, I
They
mean,
just
maybe.
don't. It's like they
Well,
don't know what to do with it.
maybe they were going to bring him in and have him hook up with his two brothers and go against the Usos and Solo
Yeah,
Sikoa. I mean, who knows what the hell they were going to do because
yeah,
all the injuries caused all kinds of problems.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't. I don't
This
know.
is, like I say, for the lack of stories, whatever. This one is, at least in recent years, this has got more intrigue, I guess.
Well, it does. I mean,
It could be great, or it could just be one of the worst ones they've had.
yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, that's why whenever I started talking about this, I was thinking about how bad my conversation was going to be because I'm gonna just tear them up for the past 3 months of doing absolutely nothing and just putting this guy against
Mhm.
this guy just for the hell of it. But
Right,
this may be why
right.
because of
It may be,
how this match is going to turn out. I don't know who's going to come in early. I
and the reason they're putting all the big names, I mean, because
Yeah.
it's always got big names in it, but you're usually not this top heavy.
No. I mean, usually you've got
So
10 guys in there that are just
right,
absolutely no way in hell they could ever win anything, or absolutely no way in hell they'd be in the final 10 in the ring. I mean,
right.
with this thing, you've got 20 guys, like I say, I mean, just off the top, I got Punk, Gable, McIntyre, Uso, Kingston, Paul, Balor, Waller, Theory, Woods, Mysterio, Rollins, Zayn, Andrade, Dirty Dom, Priest, Fatu, LA Knight, Miz. I mean, all these guys are final 10 guys in the ring.
Could be, yeah.
I mean, have been in the past, should I
Right,
say.
right.
Um, and that's not even counting if Orton comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, if Orton comes back, I think he's final four.
Well, you're not talking Orton, and you're not talking, like I said, you still like we talked before. You got, which they're not going to win it. I get it, but you got Hendry. You got to make room for.
Yes.
You're probably going to bring back Ziggler just for the pop.
Well, you bring in Ziggler, you bring in Henry, and like I say, if Orton comes back because he hasn't
Right.
been on the shelf that long just because he hadn't been hurt. He's not hurt. We all know he's not hurt.
Yeah.
He's
And
just waiting. He comes
and you
back.
got yeah, and you got Cardona. You got the
Cardona,
Hardys.
both the
And
Hardys.
you haven't even mentioned any NXT guys, which they're going to bring two or three of those guys anyway.
Sure. Well, and what I just
Have
talked to you
to.
about, I didn't mention Carmelo Hayes. I didn't mention Braun Breaker. I
Yeah.
didn't mention Karrion Cross. I didn't mention Sheamus. I didn't mention Ludwig Kaiser. I didn't mention AJ Styles, a possibility. There's 10 more guys right there that could be final 10 guys as well, other than the other
Yeah.
15 I already named.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
It's going to be interesting.
it's going to be a fun match. It's going to be a real fun one because it can be anybody.
Right.
This could
Oh,
literally be
no
in.
doubt.
There's probably we could sit here and talk all night long and come up with probably 15 different Final Four scenarios
Different ways to go about it.
that are
Right.
legitimate Final Fours. I mean, we could. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
want it to happen,
No.
but it very well could be. It very well could be
We could.
Reigns, Sokoa, Fatu, and Tama Tonga in the Final Four. It very well could be,
Good.
but it
Good.
shouldn't be. But
And
it
you
could
could,
be.
and there is that outside chance again, to going around those same paths. There's that outside chance Cena wins the damn thing.
Sure,
I can see him doing that and
of
pissing off all
course.
kinds of people.
Of course. But
Your
but
your, your
that
Rumble
would
winners could be Cena and Charlotte Flair, and that's going to piss off the universe.
oh everybody be pissed off. I mean, I think it'd be a huge mistake to let Cena
Yeah.
win it. He's going to get
Oh
a
yeah.
big pop no matter what he does. You can
Yeah.
give him night one main event and give the other guy night two, and you're all happy people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's just so many different ways they can go with this stuff. Just so many different ways. I mean, it could be yeah, I mean, it could be Reigns and Fatu, and unfortunately, Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso. It could be so many different things in here, but,
Yeah, it
but
can be. I
because of
just
the way I don't want it to be Punk and McIntyre
and see
and
that was another one of my fears that the final four was going to be Punk, McIntyre, Rollins, and Sami Zayn.
yes,
That was my
yes. I
and that
mean,
was
come on.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think it's a no-brainer that Punk and Rollins are going to be in the final four.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, without a
I
doubt.
think that's a no-brainer. But who are the other two?
The other two is the toss up because it could
Yeah,
go like you said, it could go anywhere from eight, 9 different guys.
yeah. Well, I mean, I understand your pick of Rollins.
Yeah.
Rollins has jobbed for everybody. He's done everything he's supposed to do to help everybody on the roster out. He's done it, and he'll do it forever and ever because he's a company guy,
Right.
and he does it
Yeah.
great. Last year, Punk, I don't know if he was supposed to win. I know he got hurt during the match.
Right.
Um, but last year it was him and McIntyre and Gunther and Cody in the final four. And
Okay, I was trying to remember who was in the final four with Cody. I couldn't
yeah,
remember.
it was Cody Gunther, and then uh, Cody tossed out Gunther, and then I think it was Punk that tossed out McIntyre. Then it was Punk and Cody, and then Cody ended
Yeah,
up winning the
right.
thing. I mean, so since I got 10 minutes left. Okay. So, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. It's just going to be a good show. I think it's going to be a really good show.
It is. It is, and it's a good way to kick us off to get back into the groove of this thing. It's a
Yeah.
good starting point.
Yeah. Get us back in. We'll see. It'll be a good show Saturday. Early start time, 5 o'clock. Give us, we'll be up late at night. But anyway, it's good to get back after it here. We're going to start doing try to get back into the swing of things here, get Tina back involved too, get some top tens going on. I'll get back into the board game thing. We're kind of getting back into the swing of that, and try to get everything going again here. So until then, you got anything else, Chuck?
I do not. It's just good to be back in the back in the old saddle
It
again and get
is,
going.
it's hopefully the flu will get away from us. We can kind of start doing this in person again here pretty soon, and we'll get back into a regular
No,
rotation.
it's kind of a cool setup though. I like this.
Yeah, it's
See it
kind of.
too.
I can sit here in my underwear and nobody sees anything. So,
Exactly.
but anyhow, like I say, Mike, I know you're probably watching this. Hope you get better soon. Maybe you can come visit with us on the results show, and we can talk about what we did see and didn't see. We can get you on here and get your ideas of.
I know we had a whole wrestling conversation without our truth being mentioned because he's not
I
here.
know because of my. Yep, I wrote him down. He's on my list. I mean, Triple H
Yeah,
loves the guy, so who
yeah.
knows?
Miss you, Mike.
But anyhow, we will see you guys next time. We'll be doing a results show. I hope after this thing's over, then we'll get back after it with some board game stuff. Keep up with some wrestling, maybe get some top 10 stuff going on here. Get Tina back in the mix with us, and
Yep.
have some fun down the road. So
More
we
music.
appreciate you coming in. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.